everybody, I'm Maddie with Diaries of a Farmhouse and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing another botany and beauty video, which means I'm doing my makeup, kind of, and we're talking about a plant, talking about history and plant care. If you missed my last botany and beauty video, it was about monsteras. Today we're doing another popular and trendy house plant, which actually was one of my first plants, and that is the fiddle leaf fig. Before we start off, I just want to talk a little bit about some things I have going on. So one of the things is, if you see me drinking some wine, I do have my can't touch this glass that I got from the Dollar Tree. I guess it's $1.25 now. I don't know, but I thought this was super cute. So what I'm drinking is the One Hope Rosé wine. I'm actually a cause entrepreneur for One Hope, and they are a very cool company. This video is not sponsored by them or anything. I am purely talking about it because I'm going to be drinking it, and it's also something that I make a little bit of money off of aside from this video. So anyway, One Hope is a company that sells wine. They originated in California, and for every bottle of wine sold, they will donate a certain amount of that purchase to charities. Each month they have a different charity that they focus on. They've done Alex's lemonade stand, I think a couple months ago, and then they have a new one going now. Oh my gosh, how many times can I say in this video? Anyway, they are an amazing company. There are a lot of ways that you can help. If you do like wine and you maybe buy a lot of it, or you're having a party or a fundraiser or an event, you can always contact me or another CE and just tell us what you're looking for. We can put in the order of the wine, and you can tell us what charity you want us to donate that portion of money to. So a portion will still go to the charity of One Hope's choice, but then you'll also get to choose a charity that we can donate some of the money from your purchase to. So that's pretty cool. You can also join as a cause entrepreneur like I am and sell wine and make a difference that way. They have a lot of different wines to choose from. They have sparkling wines, sweet wines, dry wines, everything you can imagine, little like sample bottles. They do online tastings or virtual tastings. So if you wanted to come to a tasting, you can order the kit and then join the live. So anyway, if you are interested in that at all, leave a comment below and I'll reach out to you. And I will also leave the link to our website down below. I also do have a business where I sell plants and cement pots, dog bandanas, earrings, stickers, anything you can imagine having to do with plants and expanding, as well as home decor. So if you're interested in that, I will also leave the link down below and you can go check out my own Diaries of a Farmhouse business. Okay, I know that was a lot. So let's go ahead and jump into what today's video is going to be about. And we already said that it is going to be about the fiddle leaf fig or Ficus lyrata. Let me take a sip. So when I said maybe or kind of that I was doing my makeup with you, it's because obviously like I already have my makeup done. So I'm just going to kind of touch it up, spruce up my eyes a little bit, add some color as I'm talking to you guys. So let's get started. We're talking about the Ficus, fiddle leaf ficus, or fiddle leaf fig. And I learned some things when I was researching this that I did not know before, which is pretty cool when I'm doing these videos to be able to learn something along with you guys, and be able to share that information. So the fiddle leaf fig is actually called a Ficus lyrata. We most likely will know it as, or in this video call it, the fiddle leaf fig. It is related to the Miraceae family, and it has about 800 something cousins in that family. It originates in West Africa, and I don't know what to do with my towel. It originates in West Africa, and this tree, I learned some interesting things when I was learning about how it grows natively. So this tree originates in West Africa, in Sierra Leone, or in Cameroon. excuse if I don't say things right. I'll try my best, but I didn't research like I should have how to say some of these things, so excuse that. So the fiddle leaf fig in its native habitat grows in dense forest areas and kind of like rainforesty areas. And here's where it gets kind of weird. I did not know this, but the fiddle leaf fig will grow on top of other trees. So it's called an epiphyte. I'm not sure how to say it. But basically, to fight for the light that the rest of the trees are getting, it will root and climb up the trunks of other trees and basically cut off their sunlight supply. And then when it produces fruit, which I also did not know it did, the fruit will drop and then it will reseed itself and it'll start all over. So pretty interesting. They can grow about 60 feet tall. They do produce fruit, which is something I didn't think about. I guess I knew that it had the word fig in it, which is something you can eat, so I kind of knew, I guess, but pretty interesting to think that they do produce like fig fruits. So moving on to history, the Ficus lyrata, or the fiddle leaf fig, was being used in like botanical gardens, I found, in Europe in about 1916, if I didn't say that already. And then about 1918, it was recorded to have been recorded growing in Bermuda through the, I don't know how to say it, the Britain Flora Bermuda, which I guess is like a book of different plants that are found in Bermuda. So it was recorded there, and then in the 1970s, or I'm sorry, the 1920s, it started to be cultivated in Puerto Rico for experimental uses. And then in the 1970s, people started to use it more widely, as we do now, as outdoor like ornamental use and decoration. And then in about, let's see, this would have been about 20 years ago, so it would have been about 2000, early 2000s, that it really took off as like a houseplant, like we have it now. And that is mainly because of Pinterest, I found. And because of Pinterest and different like home decor people using the fiddle leaf fig as decoration and then posting it on Pinterest, it gained a lot of popularity, I guess, as a houseplant finally, and that is how we ended up with it being really trendy and using it in our homes now. A lot of people really loved it because it was kind of like structurally interesting because of the large fiddle leaf shaped figs, or sound like I said a cuss word, I did not. Fiddle leaf shaped leaves, and then because you could put it in a room and it would just add a lot of interest into that room and fill up the space. So the reason why it's so popular now is pretty much because of Pinterest. Okay, so I also like to kind of find out like what the symbolism behind certain plants are and see like what do they symbolize, what do people feel like they get from them. And so with the fiddle leaf fig, it represents fertility, I'm sure, because it bears fruit. It also symbolizes abundance, positive energy, good luck. It's overall like a very positive, nourishing plant. So if you're into that kind of thing, there's that. So now we will move on to care. So for care for the fiddle leaf fig, do I want to do that? I don't think I want to do that. The fiddle leaf fig, I'm going to start off with like the weird thing that they like first. So they will grow in areas where it's a little bit windy, where they are having to withstand winds, and so this helps them to grow stronger roots. So if you have a fiddly fig, they do like to be shook. So you, to encourage growth and stronger roots and stem, you can just gently grab the stem of your fiddle leaf and just kind of like move it back and forth so that it kind of thinks that it's in wind and grows a little bit stronger. You can also, like I've seen some people put it on their washer machines or their dryers, so it's like shaking and you don't have to actually like physically move the plant. Those are like the two main things that people do to encourage growth in these plants. So let's start with the lighting that a fiddle leaf fig needs. So, okay, let's move on to light. We've talked about kind of the weird thing that they like, which is being shook. As far as light, the more light, the better. Except I do believe bright light or direct light will cause them to burn and have leaf scorch. So I would try not to do that, but they do enjoy some bright and direct lighting. I have mine in my laundry room, which gets south and west facing sunlight, and my fiddle leaf has done pretty good there. I did move it in here behind me, and it gets the light from the grow lights behind me. So, and it's done okay. It's not ideal, and I don't think that it will thrive here, so I will most likely move it somewhere else where it's going to have a little more light, probably back in my laundry room. You also they are pretty tolerant to shade. They just will not grow fast, and they will grow kind of leggy or like spindly. They won't grow as full. And so you'll have kind of like a spindly, thin, tall tree, which isn't very attractive, but if that's something you wanted or you like, you could do that. Probably south-facing windows are the best overall. I cannot talk and do this at the same time. Okay, so now that we've talked a little bit about light, let's talk about watering. Fiddle leaf figs are known to be kind of finicky about watering and just in general. So mine have done okay, not to say that they haven't gone through their trials, but for the most part, the fiddle leaf fig likes to dry out in between waterings. So I had mine behind me in a, well, it's in the pot that it is in now. I know you guys can't see that, but it's like a giant ceramic pot, and it was not doing good, and it was dropping leaves, and I could not for the life of me figure out like what was going on. I took it out of its pot, and the roots were fine. It wasn't like overwatered, it wasn't underwatered. So I finally concluded that I might need to move it into a nursery pot, which is usually my go-to method of like saving or fixing plants, and then treat it that way with some hydrogen peroxide in case it had some root rot going on, in case it had something weird bacterially going on. So I put it in a nursery pot so that I could monitor how much water it was getting, and that helped a lot. So now I do let it dry out in between waterings, and I do also fully saturate it when it's time to water again, and that has helped a ton. I also know that while we're talking about watering and that kind of stuff, since we're talking about watering and those kinds of things, let's go ahead and talk about humidity. So these are jungle plants. I totally think that like understanding the history, and that's why I usually start with the history, helps us to understand the care that the plant needs. So obviously it is a jungle plant. It is a tropical plant that grows in West Africa and jungles and forests, which means that it is going to need a lot of humidity. So, unfortunately, I don't have mine in a lot of humidity right now. In my laundry room, it was getting a lot just because of the laundry we were doing and the steam from the showers across the hallway. So, but if you do not have enough, oh gosh, if you do not have enough humidity for your faith, it will start to brown and get kind of crunchy. So to avoid that, you're going to want to put it somewhere where it is getting a lot more humidity. I would refrain from misting it. I used to mist mine until I realized that it can cause bacterial infections on the leaves, and because these leaves are so large, that's a lot of room to gather water droplets and cause some kind of bacterial infection on the leaves, which they are also kind of prone to. So when giving your fiddly fig humidity, I would suggest getting just like a little humidifier. I have these really tiny ones I ordered from Amazon, and they are perfect because they don't take up a lot of space. They add just enough humidity to how does it look? Does it look good? It adds just enough humidity to the space, and that's what I would do. Or even like a tray of, oh my gosh, why am I struggling so much with this one? Or even a tray of rocks sometimes will help the humidity in the area that your plant is in. It won't create a lot, but it might create enough to prevent the leaves from turning brown and crispy. So, I don't know why I struggled so much with that one. Is it even in the same spot? No. Why do I struggle so much? Okay. Alright. So, yeah. This whole video has just been a whole lot of a mess. But you know what? If you're still here, thank you. Anyway, let's move on to soil. So they do like well-draining soil, which means that you will need to put your plant in a mix of regular potting. My dogs are like stepping all over each other. In a regular potting mix, but also some perlite, maybe some charcoal just to add a little bit of richness to the soil, as well as maybe some like peat or cocoa coir to allow the water to drain a little bit faster, and make it a little bit fluffier and light, so that the water will drain through, but it will still retain enough moisture to keep your fiddly fig happy. Okay, we're almost to the end. So, the next thing I'm going to talk about is fertilization. The nice thing is there are fertilizers out there purely for fiddly figs. You can get it on Amazon, and I think you can also find the website if you just like search it up on Google. But if you're looking at just like your local store, you'll want to find a fertilizer mix of 3-1-2, which is pretty typical for most houseplants. It will support the growth of the large leaves and just overall keep your fiddly fig a lot happier indoors. Okay, so moving on to the next to last thing is toxicity. So I did not entirely research the fruit of this plant. I believe it's edible, but I don't know. So best case scenario, don't eat it because it's probably poisonous. So, but I do know that the rest of the plant, including the sap, is toxic, especially to plant or to your pets. And if they eat it, it can cause crystallization in their throats, which I talked about in my last video. So if they get crystallization, if they eat the plant, it'll cause crystals in their like throats and then their nasal cavities, and it will cause severe irritation, vomiting, upset, that kind of stuff. Nothing that you want for your pet. That can be potentially fatal. So best to just keep them away from your plants, or best to keep them away from your animals if they like to eat your plants. And lastly, let me see if I get my hair down. So lastly is pests. Because this is a tree and it has a stem and lots of places for pests to hide, you will often see like spider mites and mealybugs. You'll most often see like spider mites and mealybugs because there's a lot of places for them to hide along the stems and under the leaves. So you want to wipe down your leaves with some neem oil, makes them nice and shiny, prevents the bugs. And while you're doing that, check up and down the stem of your fiddle leaf fig so that you know that you don't have any pests hiding around on your fiddle leaf fig that could potentially reach your other plants. So if you're still here, I appreciate it because this video was kind of a mess and I appreciate you hanging in till the end. But I must say the makeup turned out really good for this video. So that's a round of applause. Let's go ahead and wrap up this video. I am so grateful for you guys being here and those of you who watch my videos and those of you 3 subscribers that have subscribed and have stayed. My people who watch the videos and don't follow, I appreciate you guys too. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I just want to say, if you want to know more about One Hope wine, go ahead and leave a comment below and I will reach out to you. The wine, I forgot to say, this wine that I'm drinking today is the Vintner California Rosé for 2020. It has notes of watermelon, strawberry, Bing cherries, and blood orange. It is an off-dry wine with a light body and a balanced acidity. So that means that it is kind of sweet, but it's not super sweet. It is not going to be super bitter either. So it's just a nice, soft, yummy summer wine. If you want to check it out, I'll leave the link in the description below if you want to check out my business, Diaries of a Farmhouse. I will also leave that link down below. You can go ahead and check out my newsletter. We are actually having a giveaway until Wednesday. So when this goes up on Tuesday, you'll have one day till midnight that night to enter the giveaway. And it is a pot and a gift card and a bandana from me, as well as some candles from another female-owned company and some home decor from another female-owned company. So all 3 of us are female-owned companies that are coming together to sponsor this giveaway, and hopefully a lot more. So when you see this video, head over there, enter that giveaway. You have till midnight Tuesday night to enter, and then the winners will be announced the next morning. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I hope to see you in my future videos. Bye!